Hello COMS 469 students. This series of videos is going to go over some of the things that you should check on any assignment that you submit to our class, and it will also apply to any assignment for any class that uses similar types of argument strategies, and then APA style we'll also look at it in a different video. This one's going to focus just on content and argument, and I'm going to use the same set of samples for all of the videos, just focusing on content and argument this time. So here's my sample section. I've got these little paragraphs or excerpts from real papers years ago, anonymous, and it's hard to tell whose is whose, so it's quite ethical to take a tiny excerpt like this from a former paper. So here we have, I'm going to look for the first argument and logic issue, anything that I categorize with a letter C or a letter A within my coding system. Here we have a problem with the use of the word rhetor. In the commercial, the rhetor is effective in persuading the audience against drinking and driving. Okay. Usually we talk about strategies being effective, and we're not judging people. Rhetorical analysis is about the analysis of an artifact. So here you should replace this saying that the artifact is effective. So that's a misuse of term. You would get a C period as well as an A period in the comments for that. The next problem here is that, before we do, this is a wrong word. That would get you A period comment. And it's probably not the word they needed. You know, in the commercial, the rhetor is effective in persuading by revolving most of the argument, maybe by focusing most of the argument, or by basing most of the argument on. Anyways, your spell check won't catch that, so you'll need to find out whether the verbs and the adjectives really fit. Here we have another problem with the use of the word Stacy's. It makes it look like this person doesn't know that Stacy's with an ES is plural because they've got the word a. So this needs to be a general stasis. Now it's singular. And this is from an introduction, so they don't have to explain it right away. They're just introducing their claims. And we have, let's see, their thesis statement doesn't have enough evaluation in it. The fact that a person focuses on something could be good or bad. We don't really know. Here it has some praise and evaluation. That's good. But from here on, it's all description, not evaluation. And so that's off track for a rhetorical criticism thesis. At least in my class, I want all of your criticisms to have an evaluation element to them. This paragraph in general, make sure your intro is not missing the rationale. This doesn't have any rationale, so the rationale should foreshadow some of the insights that you might come up with in your conclusion. It should be something that motivates your reader to learn from your analysis of an artifact. You know, like analyzing this artifact will help, you know, provide insight into this aspect of social life or this aspect of rhetoric. You say what it will help people to learn, rather than just learning about the artifact as a microscopic thing. Okay, I'm going to move to another section, the sample. This is from a rhetorical situation section. I check your sources and I make sure that they're clear. And so right now it says it's a video. Well, there's more than one video on that website, so that was a logic issue for a person who's actually following along the argument. Unclear pronouns, the word this, that's going to get you an A period error mark for argument because the sentence is not clear. When you say this, it could refer back to how many sentences, we don't know. Or it could just be the previous phrase. But a better thing to do is to add a noun after this. Part of this problem, I don't know. You have to use a noun that categorizes the concept that you're referring to. Now it's a little bit more specific than a naked word this. Okay, so Be careful with your use of pronouns. You're going to see a few more examples of that coming up. Let's see, this one doesn't have any argument or content issues, so I'm going to skip over it. This sample here, we have a claim being made. Pathos can be applied, and it's not a descriptive, or it's not an evaluative claim, and you know, we need to have some sort of backing to what's going on within the pathos claim. Now, this is a content problem. It's off track. It has started with a description of pathos in general. Keep in mind who you're writing for. The rhetorical situation of your essay is, it's being addressed to a person who understands the basics of rhetoric. So they should be understood. They should understand what pathos is, and you should be using citations like Herrick to only specify what he thinks or specific things about Aristotle or another theorist. Okay. Here, we don't really need to know that it's the third and final proof, because the way in which Aristotle organizes his appeals is not an issue. And so it should actually start with your claim about the artifact. Right now it makes it sound like it's beginning a paragraph that will end up being like a textbook talking about what pathos is. So it's misleading to your reader. Your first sentence should be your claim of what you're trying to prove is effective or not within their use of pathos in this artifact. Okay. It also ends with a unanalyzed quotation, and it's just providing more data, but it doesn't comment on how that supports the claim. So be careful with ending something with a unanalyzed quotation. Here's another sample. We have it being unclear, so that would get you an A period as well. Let's look at the sentence and see there's two problems here with logic. When brought to the attention of the artifact video, it can be clearly understood. Already it's going wrong with grammar as well as with logic. What is being brought to whose attention? This is a bit garbled, but the it has no referent. It can be clearly understood is very vague statement, and it's also too indirect. You should say it becomes clear to whom? To the reader, perhaps? Or it's a video, so to the audience. Okay, so making sure that you have subject, verb, object as your basic sentence structure. Say what is doing something, then give the verb, then saying what it's being done to. That's the basic recipe for a logical sentence. And right now it's all mixed up and vague. Now we have lack of ethos and logos. This is going to cause a logic problem as well as a conceptual problem with key terms. There's no such thing as a lack of ethos and logos. Everything has some ethos and some logos if it's communication of any type. The issue here is not a lack, but it is weakness, or it's poor use of ethos and logos. All right. Also looking for argument content errors in here. Here's a common problem, is the use of a comparative word like more or better or less without a full comparison within the sentence. Look at the sentence here. The main reason being that the occasion itself calls for a much more lighthearted and easygoing form of discourse. The question is, more than what? No other type of occasion is mentioned here. And so take out the comparison verb and just say the occasion itself calls for a lighthearted. Okay, then you don't have to complete a comparison because you're not making one, you're just describing it. This final sentence has some logic issues. Taking this into consideration, here's another vague this. A speech filled with numbers and statistics about politics and religion is not the best discourse to present an argument with. assuming that this is talking about a hypothetical thing that they didn't do. They didn't fill their speech with numbers, and they actually used emotional and qualitative rather than facts and quantitative. Okay. This would not be is anymore, it would need to be would, and proper verb form is not being used. We also have a logic problem here because the person has lost track of what the subject is. Okay, this phrase, its subject is a speech. It happens to be filled with numbers and statistics about politics and religion. And then you say a speech would not be the best discourse. Discourse is equivalent to speech. Argument is, okay, so you've got too many layers of ideas going on here. It's confusing. Just simply say it's not wise to fill your speech with numbers and statistics. Period. Okay? It has gone on and made it complicated for the writer to revise. They could just simplify. Okay, so that's it for this video. I have some samples on reference lists for next video. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll talk to you later.